In this video, I'll give you a couple of actions you can take to start protecting your family online today. Stay to the end because I'm going to give you the #1 thing parents miss when it comes to protecting their kids from predators and hackers. The first thing a lot of families don't have is actually an antivirus, and an antivirus on all of their devices, on their computers. You don't have to put one on an iPhone, but you can get one for all of your computer, even an Android, whatever it is, and keep it updated, especially your kids' computers. If you have a computer where your kids use, please make sure that you have an antivirus. If you have a Windows computer, you can use like the native Windows Defender. You can add something on it like Norton Antivirus. Most people know about that. You can get that. They have family plans and you can install that on your computer, but make sure it is always updated, and you can make sure that it has that by having automatic updates. One of the most underutilized way of protecting your kids and having more security online for you and your family is actually identity theft protection. Usually we think of identity theft for adults, but kids are like a growing threat when it comes to their identity being taken. Oftentimes they might reach 18 or whatever, and they realize that someone has been using their identity based off of what a hacker was able to gather on their name, their address, all of those things. So before you get to that point, or before your kids get to that point, think of getting an identity theft protection, and one that you can look into is Identity Force. The next way you can protect your kids online or your family online in general is getting a VPN. That is a virtual private network. It creates like a secure tunnel between you and whatever you're trying to connect to, so that other people can't see exactly what you're doing. So if you're trying to connect to, say, like Facebook, and you're going to post some really cute picture of your kids, but you're not going to post something that's like completely embarrassing or not safe for your kids. We'll talk about that later in the video, so remember, sticking around to then. But let's say you're going to post something, but you are logging into like a public Wi-Fi. Maybe you're at the airport, maybe you're in a hotel, whatever it is, you're like at Starbucks or something, and you want to post that. If you're ever logging in and it's on a public Wi-Fi, public internet, anyone can see what you're doing. So if you want to conceal that, then you get a VPN. It's a paid service. Always use a paid service for VPN. Never use free, because VPNs, it takes a lot to operate. So if they're giving you a service for free, what happens? You become the product. When we're on social media and we're not paying for social media, our information is going to be sold to third parties, to other people for advertisements and whatever they want to do with it. But when you're using a VPN service, the whole point is for privacy. So if you're using it for free and they're selling your information, then you don't really have any privacy anymore. So that's why you want to pay for a VPN. A really great VPN service is NordVPN. The next thing you want to do to increase your online security for you and your kids is actually keeping all of your devices, all of your apps, everything updated. Everything that can be updated should be updated, so that you don't have to keep checking in. See if in the settings, if they have something called, obviously, automatic updates, and make sure that's there. Sometimes I know some people don't like using automatic updates because it like messes with your computer. You know how like you do the automatic update and then your computer stops working, or it gets slow, or just something breaks. So if you want, you definitely can wait like 3 days or a week after the update comes out to update, just to make sure that any bugs or any weird things are already fixed. That is completely fine. Some security people will like be like, no, you have to update right on time. Look, I'm all about practicality and safety, like a harmony between the two, and you got a lot of sugar and iced tea that you got to get done, so you can wait to update certain things, but do not wait too long. Make sure you still update them. You're probably used to like spring cleaning your house, deep cleaning your house, getting all of the crazy stuff out once or twice or 3 times or once a month or once a quarter. I don't really know, right? We springtime deep clean whatever we want. This is the same thing you have to do with your tech. So once a year, preferably like once a quarter or something, right? You look through your phone, your partner's phone, your kid's phone, whoever it is, and you look through it and see, is there an app that we're not using that I can download? Excuse me, not download, but delete. Delete the app. Don't download the app, but delete the app. So if I'm not using that app, delete that app. If your kids are not using that app, delete that app, whatever it is. Or you can also, in addition to, contact the company and say, can you delete my information? So sometimes they have it within the settings where you can request that your information is deleted, or you're gonna have to email the company to say, hey, I don't want you keeping my information in your system to sell to advertisers. I would rather you just delete that right now. Like, go ahead and log off for me. So you can do that with the apps you're not using. One thing that we often miss, and this allows us to completely lose access to our beautiful memories, our photos, certain important documents and files is we don't back up things. So I can't say we because I'm not in this picture, even though there's probably a couple things that I still need to back up, so let me not say anything. But no, actually, no, I think I'm good. I think I just backed up most of the things. Yeah, okay, I think I'm good, but it's a reminder to me, right? You want to make sure that you have things on backup. Typically, everything's on automatic backup, but sometimes you have to get a little bit more storage. There are many different storage options for you. You know, there's like, of course, hey, there's one thing that people usually don't know. Most people are like Amazon users. If you have Amazon Prime, they actually give you something called an Amazon Drive that's free. Now you have to pay a little bit, you know, if you want a little bit more storage, but there are options for you that don't cost a lot of additional money. So if you're already paying for Amazon Prime, which most of you most likely are, you can have an Amazon Prime. Like, how cool is that? So there are many different options. Of course, obviously there's iCloud, and then you have Dropbox, and you have a lot of different options, but you must make sure that you have everything backed up, because if something happens to your phone or your device or something and you lose all of those precious memories and baby photos and family photos and vacation photos and selfies and whatever else that you're taking pictures of, you don't want to lose that. So make sure you have everything on backup, preferably automatic backup, and preferably multiple backups, meaning you have a backup that's on a cloud, like it's on the internet, and then you have a backup that's like on a hard drive so that you can like carry it with you or whatever. So there are many different options, and make sure you have at least 2 to 3 different places that you're backing up things on. So let's talk about the number one thing parents miss when it comes to protecting their kids or protecting their family online. It's a really, really, really big one. So sit tight because we need to get into it. Number one is account security. There's a lot of focus, rightfully so, on kids' safety online, on parental settings, on parental filterings, on privacy, all of that. That's well and good. However, there's not enough focus on, is your account and your kids' account secure? Secure, okay? Do you have a lock on that account? Is there a really good password that you have never used anywhere else? A unique password, a long password, uppercase, lowercase symbols, password, that type of password. Do you have that password in each and every account? I'm talking to you, like you and me, like, you know what I'm saying? Do you have that? If you don't, I'm going to need you to pay attention right now. I'm going to need you to change that right now, because there are many families, unfortunately, and I'm playing around right now, but like being my silly self, but this is really serious, because I just did a video a couple of months ago about a hacker, or predator and hacker, who got into a family's Snapchat account and started taking photos of their kids from their accounts and blackmailing them with it based off of the lack of security inside of the account. So if your kids have social media accounts, gaming accounts, school accounts, whatever it is, email accounts, you want to make sure it has really good security and really good passwords. So always check the account settings to have really good make sure it has a good password and it has 2-factor authentication. What I will say with passwords that it feels like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. I don't know how I'm going to manage this. There's something that manages it for you called a password manager. Yeah, I know sometimes it feels like, why am I going to let a different company manage my passwords? And it can be really scary, but trust me, the way that you're managing your passwords right now is worse than whatever you think the company could do. A lot of these companies, they are reliable, they're secure, they've been vetted, they know what they're doing, you can do research on them. And I have 2 favorites. There's one is called LastPass and one is called 1Password. I like the 1Password specifically for the password generator. So like each of the password managers have a password generator, including LastPass. What you can do, okay, is generate a password for, like, let them generate a password for you. You don't have to make up a password, let them make it up for you, and then you save it using their thing. And then as a backup for like your own peace of mind, you can write down the passwords in a notebook. You can take a notebook, right, like this, and you can write your passwords down. And I know they say don't write your passwords down. You have a physical version of your passport. You have a physical version of your social security number. I'm talking to Americans right here, okay? You have a physical version of your credit card. You have a physical version of your birth certificate. That's all on paper, and you have to store that somewhere, whether it's a secure file cabinet, whether it's a safe. And so if you can store those type of documents, you can store your passwords. what we're trying to say when we say never write down your passwords is don't put it like on your desk, or don't put it on a sticky note, or don't put it like on the computer or like by the Wi-Fi or whatever. Don't do that, but you can still have a physical copy of your passwords, and you can put it in a safe or a really safe space as a backup, including your password manager. So you can like write down your most important passwords, like for banking, for your email. That's a really good that's a really important account to secure that many people don't know, but I'm not gonna ramble on about that. But make sure you have good security on your email as well, and your kids' email. But you can write them down and put them somewhere, and it will be okay, okay? So I need you right now to start downloading a password manager. Also, a password manager makes it easier for you to share passwords with your family members as needed. Now, should we be sharing passwords? No. But when you have an account that you've started with your kid and you want your kids to be able to log into the account without knowing the password, you can use a password manager. I'll do an entire video on password managers, but just know that you need to install that. The next that I briefly talked about before is two-factor authentication. That is 2 ways of authenticating to one account. You're telling the account, I'm telling you twice that I am who I am. Not only do I know a username and a password, but I also know a one-time code that you have given me to get into the account. That makes it harder for hackers and predators to get into your family's account, and that should always be enabled on all of your accounts. I know I said the number one thing that parents miss, but this is number 2, and it's a bonus one, and it's about what you're posting online. So many parents have this like sharing habit, right? You're sharing way too much information about your kids online, and that is allowing predators and hackers to understand your family's movements, your family's habits, how to get into your family's account. All of those things are taking pictures of your family and putting them other places, or role playing with your account. So many things are being done with you and your family's photos, or the information you and your kids are posting online. This is a huge topic that is leaving so many children easy prey for predators and hackers. I know you want to protect your kids online, so in the next video that is coming up in a couple of seconds, I'm going to break down all of the things you absolutely should never ever post about your kids online.